Hello there, Watson here back with another video. I'm pretty certain I've done some of these videos before, but a while ago, so this is going to be like a newer version of it. So this is my Final Fantasy game collection as of 2025. We're in April, so we'll probably do like a year on next year when we get to it, but 2025's collection. These are in no particular order. I'm just like grabbing the games as I grab them. So, firstly, we have on the Nintendo DS, Final Fantasy 3. Not played this. There's no manual for this, so I might look into getting the manual as well so that it's complete at some point. Next, we have Final Fantasy VI on the PS1. I've recently completed Final Fantasy VI for Pixel Remasters on the Xbox Series consoles, so there'll be a review for that at some point. There's already a Let's Play on the channel for Final Fantasy VI. And yeah, there we go. We've got the manuals, the discs, including the demo disc for Final Fantasy X. I spent so long playing the demo for Final Fantasy X back in the day. Next we have Final Fantasy Origins for the PS1. This is Final Fantasy 1 and 2. It's got the manual and whatnot, postcards, and both discs. This is a more recent purchase. I'd already moved on to like PS2 by the time this had actually come out over in the UK. Next we have Final Fantasy Anthology. This is Final Fantasy 4 and 5 in the UK. I believe in America it's Final Fantasy 5 and 6. Not entirely sure why that's a thing, but yeah, there's both discs and the manual. Need to pick up the American version someday, but yeah. Final Fantasy 7. We all know what Final Fantasy 7 is, and manual and the discs and whatnot. There. Final Fantasy 7. Probably the most overrated Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy 9. I didn't appreciate this half as much as a kid that I do now. I think it's a great game though. I think a lot of it as a kid that made me dislike the game was I had some sort of bug. All of this will come out. That's not particularly... There we go. I had some sort of bug as a kid with the memory cards, in which the save file would corrupt constantly. And because the save file corrupted constantly, I had to restart the game a couple of times. It got to a point where it was like I would fill a memory card up with saves and hope one of them actually still worked. And next we have my favourite Final Fantasy and one of my top 3 favourite games of all time, Final Fantasy VIII. I have so much nostalgia for this game. This is unfortunately not my original copy, but yeah. I still remember the day when I did get my original copy. We'd gone to buy like a family PC, and my granddad took me into game, and I'd seen Final Fantasy VIII was like behind the counter, and yeah, I'd said something like, "Oh boy, I've been playing it and I really enjoyed it and whatnot," and he bought it for me and got told off for buying it. You don't buy one and not the others in our family. So next we have a lot more recent purchase, and the most expensive purchase actually out of all of the Final Fantasy stuff that I've got. The Final Fantasy Limited Edition Wonderswan, which comes with Final Fantasy 1. I have opened it up, I have played it, it does work. The box is pretty immaculate, it's pretty damn cool. And to go with that, we've got a separate copy of Final Fantasy 1 as well. The Wonderswan itself is a Japanese only console, so I'm not likely going to be playing that much, but there's Final Fantasy 2 and Final Fantasy 4 on that system as well, which I want to get at some point just for like collection purposes. Next we have, I'll do this one next, Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. This is my original copy. It still has the save files on it. I checked like probably about a year or so ago now. All the save files are still on there. They still work as of last year anyway. Whether they still do or not, I don't know. We'll do the Xbox games next. So Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core Reunion. Hopefully we get Final Fantasy VII Remake soon on the Xbox. I have this digitally. I've already 100% completed it, so this one will remain sealed. And the same goes for this one. Final Fantasy Origins Stranger of Paradise. I have also 100%ed this game. I got a digital copy. It's I pretty enjoyed this one. It's pretty cool. It's not too bad. Next we have Final Fantasy 15, the Day 1 edition. I also have a digital copy of this. As of right now in April, as I'm recording this, I have 3 technically, games in the Final Fantasy series left to complete on the Xbox. Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 15, and Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, which I've got 2 achievements left. So I'm pretty much at a point where I'm like, well, it's basically done. One of them's an RNG achievement, and the other one's just defeating a boss before it uses a particular attack, which shouldn't be too difficult. I will probably either have got it by the time this video goes live, or be close, I guess. But yeah, I need to go back and do Final Fantasy 15. I obviously need to make a Let's Play for the channel anyway, but yeah. And next we have, speaking of Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy 13 series on the Xbox 360. So we have Final Fantasy 13, which I still need to 100% complete, get all the achievements on. I think I was missing about 250 achievement points. I was going to do it at some point, but it's like a massive grind to get enough money to upgrade everything. So yeah, I will be doing that at some point. 13-2, in my opinion, this one is the best of the 13 series by far. I'm a sucker for time travel. If there's a time travel trope in a game, I love it. So yeah. And lastly, Lightning Returns Final Fantasy 13, the only Final Fantasy game in the series that I played that I absolutely hated. I hated every second of it. Yes, I have 100% completed it. I have all of the achievements. I saw the true ending. I hated it. It's just, I hated it. So, I mean, probably will never do do a Let's Play for this for the channel. It is what it is. Final Fantasy 11, the 2007 edition. I'm guessing there's like multiple editions of this on the Xbox 360, which I will need to get at some point because I am also trying to get the full PAL set for the Xbox 360. It includes expansion packs: The Rise of the Zillar, Chains of Promathia, and Treasures of the Art Ugan. Yeah, I did play quite a lot of this back when I originally got it. Met a couple of people playing it, ended up in a guild and whatnot. I stopped playing it because Fallout 3 came out, and then I just kind of never went back to playing Final Fantasy 11, which was a shame, really, because I got to a point where I was level 50, which means I needed to do the level upgrade. Like there was a cap on your level, and you had to do a specific quest to upgrade your level cap, and that's the point that I was up to. Yeah. We have a sealed Final Fantasy 13 collector's edition. This is in, I'm not entirely sure what language. It's not English. I mean, I don't speak whatever language this is, and it doesn't seem to be telling me on the case. It is PAL, so it's not. It might be Italian or Spanish or something like that. Who knows? I could probably find out if I Google Translated. But next we have the Final Fantasy VII Advent Children DVD. I remember buying this from Asda and thinking oh, they made a movie, yay! And then watched it a couple of times. It's pretty decent. I did have the other Final Fantasy movie, the one that kind of wasn't based on anything to do with Final Fantasy, and very, very vaguely had anything Final Fantasy related in it. Spirits Within. I did have that at some point. I'm not entirely sure where it is or where it's gone, but maybe it'll show up one day, and if not, then I'll just buy another copy. It's like £1, so I also have the Final Fantasy 13 2 Steelbook. I need to get the Steelbook for Lightning Returns at some point, but that is expensive for what it is. On the SNES, we have a complete in-box version of Final Fantasy V. I also, before that, but it's not a complete version of Final Fantasy V, and the box is pretty knackered. But this one, pretty damn minty. We also have Final Fantasy IV, also complete in box, manuals and whatnot. Pretty damn good condition for an SNES game. And Mystic Quest, Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Legend. This was our first Final Fantasy over in Europe. It's not in great condition, but given that it's SNES cardboard, you kind of go, well, the likelihood of finding one that is in really good condition and it being appropriately priced is kind of not gonna happen. So next we have on the PS5 Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade. I enjoyed playing this. I waited for so long for it to come to Xbox and it never did, and I kind of I decided that I was going to treat myself to a PS5 after I'd completed year 2 of university, and yeah, I saw this for, I think it was £20, and was you know what, I'm going to buy it, I'm going to play it, I'm going to enjoy it. If it ever does come to Xbox, I'm obviously going to buy it again and add it to the completion, because I'm trying to complete all of the Final Fantasy games on Xbox. And to add to that, next we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I don't have the Platinum on this. I've got the Platinum on 16 and 7 Remake. I probably won't go back to this to get the Platinum. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, pretty good. I did get the steelbook with that. It's a pretty damn fancy steelbook. I do like it. There's a couple of variants on this as well, so maybe we'll get those someday. And then we have Final Fantasy 15 on the PS4. Obviously, I've got it on the Xbox One. £4 copy on the PS4, so that we've got both versions. There is like the Royal Edition, and I think there's another version that's like a Game of the Year type version where it's got all the DLC with it. I'll probably pick those up someday if I see them. And next we have the right one. So we had them on the Xbox 360. I also have them on the PS3, so Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns. Weird that these aren't part of like PS Plus or made backwards compatible in any sort of way on the PlayStation, but they are on the Xbox. Who knows? Maybe they'll do a remaster someday, but yeah, they're available on the Xbox if you want to go and replay them in some form. I also have Final Fantasy X and 10-2 remaster for PS3. I have this like several times. You'll see that I've got Final Fantasy X like half a dozen times. And Final Fantasy 14, A Realm Reborn. I played a little bit of it on Xbox when it came out to Xbox. I'm not big into MMOs, so I probably won't go back and play it, but I don't know, maybe one day I'll try and complete it. If I ever get any time. So on the PSP, we have Final Fantasy Dissidia, the fighting game. There's a couple of different games in this series that I need to pick up. I think there's one on PS4 as well. Never played any of them. Probably won't ever play any of them, but it's for collection purposes. Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. I remember playing a little bit of this, but in my head, like, I played quite a lot when I was playing, like, Reunion. I recognized bits and was like, oh yeah, I remember doing this, and then, like, didn't recognize other bits, so, yeah, it was a bit weird, but Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core. Final Fantasy Tactics War of the Lions. This is it's a remaster of the original Final Fantasy Tactics, which Final Fantasy Tactics never actually released on the PS1 in Europe. So this was the first time that we got Final Fantasy Tactics over here. I played a little bit of this, nowhere near as much as I played Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Advance, I absolutely rinsed hundreds of hours in it, whereas this, I played like a couple of hours. I wasn't really big into the PSP, to be honest, so. We have the 20th anniversary for Final Fantasy 2. Pretty cool cover. I like these. There's one for Final Fantasy 1 as well, I think, so. And then we have on the PSP Essentials, Final Fantasy 4 and the After Years. Final Fantasy 4, I'd probably put quite high in my top 10. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 4. I played it, I think that's probably like the third Final Fantasy game that I ever played. But yeah, never played the After Years, so maybe I'll play that someday. It's back again, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD remaster, this time on the Nintendo Switch. As I said, there's a couple of different versions of that. There's one on the PS4, there's a PS Vita version. Final Fantasy 12. This is a platinum version. I need to get platinum versions of games at some point as well, but Yeah, Final Fantasy 12. Fun thing with Final Fantasy 12 is obviously this. Well, it's probably not obvious, but this isn't my original copy. I'm not entirely sure what happened to my original copy, but Final Fantasy 12, I put about 50 hours into. I went to work one night, I came home, and was told not to kill my brother. The reason was he deleted my save data. After that, I never went back to it. I have now 100% completed it on Xbox. I think the full Let's Play is on the channel now, or it might be next after Diablo, potentially. But yeah, it's kind of, it's either scheduled on the channel or it's already done. I'd have to double check. I can't remember. But yeah, Final Fantasy 12. Final Fantasy 7: The Dirge of Cerberus. I enjoyed this, and it turns out that a lot of people didn't like Dirge of Cerberus. I think it was probably because it's like not a RPG as such. It's more of a third-person shooter, but like it's fine by me. I'll play it as a third-person shooter. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Back again, Final Fantasy X-2. This is my original copy. I didn't really enjoy Final Fantasy X-2. It's okay. The job system is really cool in it, but other than that, the story and stuff's kind of a bit like, kind of a bit all over the place. This one was really cool when I saw it, so I had to pick it up. Final Fantasy 12 International Zodiac System. We've got some PlayStation cardboard. It's not fully sealed. There's a little bit down at the bottom here where it's like the seal's been broken, but it's kind of sealed. It came with this neat little art book, which was kind of cool. Yeah, so that was a Japanese only release. But that artwork on the front, absolutely amazing. And it's a very, very minty sleeve cover as well. Back again, Final Fantasy X. I think this is my original version. Yeah, it's from Choices. It comes with the Beyond Final Fantasy bonus disc as well. Choices was a rental shop that was around sort of early 2000s, mid 90s. This I actually bought just before I went on holiday. It came out like a week before I went on holiday, and I was like, I need to buy this game. Spent like holiday money buying this game. Played it to a certain point before I went on holiday, got stuck, and then had to kind of like grind a little bit to get past the boss that I was stuck on. But great memories with Final Fantasy X. Back once again, Final Fantasy 13. This is 13 and 13-2 physical for the PC. It was in German, but I mean, it's for collection purposes, so it doesn't really matter what language it's in. But yeah, there is a actual. Let me get that registration code out there. Actual physical release for Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2 on the PC. Lightning Returns didn't. Ooh, bless me. Final Fantasy Lightning Returns didn't get a physical release on PC, but 13 and 13-2 did. So this is kind of a bit like an anomaly, I guess. I don't know whether there's an English version or an American version or anything else like that. I had a look online for a PC version of Final Fantasy 13 and found that. Bought it. And last, but certainly by no means least, on the GameCube, it is Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. There's a couple of Crystal Chronicles games on like the Wii and the DS and stuff that I need to still pick up, but yeah, that is the last game currently in my Final Fantasy collection. So yeah, that is all of the games in my Final Fantasy collection as of April 2025. I will obviously be looking to add to that over the coming year, and then we'll see where we're at next year when I do a new video showing off the games once again. Which is your favourite Final Fantasy? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, as I said in the video, mine's Final Fantasy VIII. I have so much nostalgia for that game. I mean, I know it's divisive within the actual community itself, but for me, that's the best Final Fantasy. It's the first one I played as well, which tends to be whatever the first game is in a series. If you like it, tends to be like your favourite one, because you have that level of attachment with it. And yeah, if you did make it to the end, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.